Taylor Sheridan is not playing around. The finale of 1923 didn't just drop a bomb, it set off a slow-burning fire that's already creeping towards 1944. If it felt like too many loose ends were left dangling in the Montana wind, that's because they weren't meant to be tied up yet. Sheridan, ever the architect of generational chaos, is laying foundations, and 1944 is where many of these storylines are going to erupt. 1923 season finale. Okay, let's get one thing straight. 1923 Season 2 didn't simply just end. It detonated. And if you think that finale was just a dramatic send-off for the season, think again. Because Taylor Sheridan, in all his slow-burn, cowboy chaos brilliance, has already laced it with landmines that are going to explode straight into 1944. The connections are there, the setups are sneaky, and if you blinked, you probably missed half of them. What looks like heartbreak in 1923 is actually the beginning of a legacy war, and the clues are everywhere. But how? Well, let's start with none other than the damaged veteran we've come to love, Spencer Dutton. Spencer Dutton, soldier, survivor, and shadow of war. In 1923, Spencer Dutton is introduced as a damaged war veteran trying and failing to outrun his trauma. His journey across continents with Alexandra was epic, but the finale splits them apart in the cruelest way possible. While that might feel like a cliffhanger built purely for drama, there's more to it. The man finally makes it back to Montana after a globe-trotting, grief-soaked journey that basically put Indiana Jones to shame. But there's no joyful reunion waiting for him. Instead, it's bloodshed, frostbite, and heartbreak. The finale wastes no time. Spencer's train literally rolls past his freezing, half-dead wife, Alexandra, and we're immediately hit with that signature Sheridan-style emotional whiplash. He finds her. She lives, barely, but the clock's ticking. She's frostbitten beyond recovery, and even though she gives birth to John Dutton II, yes, the John Dutton's father, she dies shortly after. This moment isn't just heartbreaking. It's foundational. John Dutton II becomes the bridge between Spencer and Yellowstone's future timeline. He'll be 20 in 1944, which means he's perfectly aged to be our protagonist in the new series. And that brings us to the bigger theme Sheridan seems to be planting. This family doesn't survive because of love stories. They survive because they fight. And Spencer? He goes full Dutton. He doesn't just mourn Alex, he unleashes a storm. He joins Jacob in hunting down Donald Whitfield, the oily businessman trying to steal Yellowstone right out from under the family. Spencer doesn't hesitate, he kills Whitfield, shoots him dead, and just to make sure there's no coming back, he burns down the man's mansion. That, friends, is a warning shot. The war over Yellowstone didn't end in 1923. It just evolved. Spencer sets a tone that 1944 will almost certainly pick up. This land costs blood, and Duttons are always ready to pay. Baby John Dutton II, the soul of 1944. Okay, how can we not talk about the baby? John Dutton II isn't just a future name drop. His birth in the finale is the moment 1923 hands the baton to 1944. Spencer and Alex's son survives what his mother doesn't. He's raised by Kara and Jacob, who are basically 1920s versions of grandparents with grit. And here's the beautiful storytelling symmetry. Just like Spencer was raised by James and Margaret's generation in 1883, now little John is being brought up by the Spencers. We don't just get a baby, we get a new Dutton shaped by war, loss, and sacrifice. When 1944 opens, John will be a young man, so we're hoping to see the legacy of Spencer's violence and Alex's love shape John's decisions in a world that's about to explode all over again. With World War II on the horizon, how will he navigate his place in a rapidly changing world? How will his choices define the future of Yellowstone? Honestly, there are a lot of ways Sheridan can play with this, and seeing his track record, we definitely know it'll be chaotic. Donald Whitfield's death was a victory. but also a blueprint for future villains in 1944. Okay, so Donald Whitfield didn't just buy off the Dutton Ranch in 1923's finale. He became the face of everything threatening the Duttons' future: wealth without honor, power without roots. That move to cover the Duttons' property taxes was more than a villainous mic drop. It was a promise that was screaming, "This fight isn't over." Timothy Dalton's Donald Whitfield was the kind of villain who made you want to punch the screen. Arrogant, cold, and dripping with that old money evil energy. He wasn't just a threat, he was a foreshadowing. By the end of 1923, Spencer and Jacob take him out in a blaze of revenge. Literally. They shoot him and torch his mansion. It's Old West justice at its best. But here's where Sheridan drops one of the most important lines of the whole show. Whitfield was just the first. That's not a throwaway comment. That's the setup. 1944 is poised to introduce the next generation of rich, land-hungry enemies. The kind who wear suits, invest in ski resorts, and pretend they care about Montana's beauty while they strip it bare. We've seen that same theme play out with market equities in Yellowstone, and it clearly began here. In 1944, expect another Whitfield-type figure. Someone smarter, more modern, maybe even more politically savvy, trying to push the Duttons off their land. And just like Spencer did, the next generation will fight back. Elizabeth leaves Montana, but her baby might return in 1944. One of the most underrated threads in the finale is Elizabeth Strafford's exit. After burying Jack Dutton, yes, another huge loss, Elizabeth leaves for Boston, but not before revealing she's pregnant. That means by 1944, there could be two heirs to the Yellowstone legacy, John Dutton II and Jack's child. That's a story waiting to be told. It's easy to imagine 1944 pulling an emotional twist. Maybe Elizabeth's child returns to Montana trying to reclaim their birthright or even fight John over the future of the land. Sibling rivalry? Cousin conflict? Come on, Sheridan loves a twist. Whatever direction it goes, this baby opens up a new branch of the family tree, and maybe even a new source of drama. The child of Jack and Elizabeth will carry the weight of a legacy on their shoulders. Will they be a Dutton through and through, or will their experience shape them into something new, someone who could challenge everything the Duttons stand for? The tension between bloodlines, inheritance, and loyalty is a recipe for juicy storytelling, and it's just getting started. And you know Sheridan loves all sorts of conflicts. Tiona Rainwater, free of charges. Tiona Rainwater's separate journey might finally cross paths with the Duttons in 1944. Okay, so Tiona Rainwater's story felt a bit removed from the Dutton drama in 1923, but it wasn't filler, it was a setup. Tiona survives horrifying abuse, escapes, and by the end, finally finds freedom. Her charges are dropped, she's told to go west and start over. That's Sheridan speak for, she'll be back. And here's where 1944 might start tying threads together. In Yellowstone, we meet Thomas Rainwater, a proud native leader who often stands in opposition to the Duttons. Could Tiona be his ancestor? Almost certainly. And Tiona's journey will likely serve as a pivotal link, possibly guiding a new generation of Rainwaters into conflict with the Duttons, or perhaps paving the way for an unexpected cooperation. Either way, her legacy will haunt the future, just as the Duttons' decisions in 1923 haunt theirs. So, 1944 might be where the Dutton and Rainwater family lines first clash. Or align. Maybe they fight over land. Maybe they unite against a common threat. Either way, the roots of that long-standing feud, or alliance even, are going to be planted here. Has the dust settled? So, where does that leave us? The finale of 1923 did everything it needed to. It closed Spencer's story with heartbreak and honor. It protected the Yellowstone. For now. It introduced the next generation, and it warned us this fight is far from over. 1944 is going to be bigger, bolder, and even more brutal. World War II will be raging, but so will the battle for the Dutton land. John Dutton II will step into the spotlight, shaped by loss, hardened by legacy, and likely forced to choose between duty and desire, just like every Dutton before him. Taylor Sheridan hasn't just given us a Western saga, he's building a generational epic, one heartbreak and horse chase at a time. So buckle up, 1944 is coming, and if 1923 is anything to go by, it's gonna be one hell of a ride. Thanks for watching. What twists and tricks do you think Sheridan has up his sleeves for 1944? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.